So we have already created the app. Okay, room reservation app. It's already ready. Now all that we have to do is we have to put a few more functionalities onto it. So first thing that we are going to learn is a field dependency. Okay, what's the field dependency? Making one field dependent on the other one. All right. So let's say for example, in this case, I have rooms. All right. So for the rooms, let's say I have types. Okay. And in type, let's say I have type A, B, and C type rooms. All right. Another thing I need to enter into it is the number of people it can accommodate. Just call it number. How many people it can accommodate. All right. And this, for this, let's say there is an option 1, 2,
It's referred to as max occupancy.
max occupancy. How do you know this terminology so well? Did you do some research?
No, I am a hotel management graduate to start with before I
Okay.
did my BCom and postgraduate diploma.
Uh, that's good. Okay. So let's say max occupancy is this is the option, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So type we have already defined. Let me just go ahead and define this max occupancy. So for that, all that we need to do is just go to setup, create, go to the rooms object. Room is the one that I created, right?
Yep. The one that says for book it is the one that I created, so that way you can differentiate.
Got it. All right. Now it has to be a pick list. Max occupancy. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now for the rooms, I have two fields. One is the type and one is the max occupancy. Okay. Now you can select any type, type A, type B, type C, and you can have these options for the max occupancy. Now, let's say I have an, I have a criteria that for type A, occupancy options are only 1, 2, and 3, or maybe 1, 2, and 4. Okay. For type B, occupancy options are 1, 2, 4, and 6. And for type C, the occupancy options are, let's say, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. This can be a possibility, right? So I do not have all the occupancy options available for all the room types. In that case, what you can do is you can just go ahead and define a dependency. Now what is happening? No matter you select A, or B or C, you get to see all the occupancy options. But let's say, occupancy for one person is available only for type A rooms.
Right.
All right. So that's basically the thing. That's where I would need to put a dependency. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to make this max occupancy field dependent on type. Correct? So how do you do that? It's pretty simple. Just go to that object, same setup, create objects, and then go to the room object, and then click on field dependencies here. Click on new, controlling field and dependent field. So which one is controlling field for us?
The room type, right?
Type is the controlling field. Which is the dependent field? Occupancy.
Occupancy.
That's it. Okay. And here is the dependency that we can define. So under type A, which all occupancy options are available, you just have to select. So for type A, I say 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2. You have to press a control to select multiple options. Okay. For type B, 1, 2, 4, and 6. 1, 2, 4, and 6. For type C, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So whichever option is available or applicable under the parent option, you just have to define that or select that rather by pressing control, and you just say include values. Now only these values, the ones that you see in the yellow shade, these values will be available under type A. Only these ones will be available under type B, and these ones will be available under type C. Okay, so we have already defined our dependency for the field. Now let's go and okay, all that you need to do is just save it. Let's go to the record and check it. How does it look?
Sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
Am I heard now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, thanks.
See, now we have made this field max occupancy dependent on type. So if it's a type A room, then occupancy options are only 3. If it's a type B room, occupancy options are 1, 2, 4, 6. If it's a type C room, then the occupancy options are these. Got it? So while you're making a field dependent, you can also make the field dependent based on a checkbox. Okay, so controlling field can be checkbox also. Okay, let's say I have one more dependency. I have accessible rooms only with type A and B. Okay, there are no accessible rooms with type C. So in that case, what I'm doing is I'm defining another dependency that's for accessibility and type. In this case, type is going to be a dependent field, okay, which depends on accessibility. Okay, so you can just go and set up. Since we have the checkbox, I'm trying to use that. Let's go to the room. New field dependency. Controlling field will be accessible, dependent field will be type. Go to continue. So for that checkbox checked, only options available will be A, B, and if it's unchecked, then all three options should be available. That's it. Save. Controlling field values. Oh, okay. You need to include the values first. Yep, that's it. Now, if it is checked, you will only see type A and B. Now, select type A, number of instances. Got it? So that's how the field dependency works. We're okay on this? All right. So that's one thing. Now the other thing that we are going to do is we will okay. For the reservation number, because we have an object called reservation, right? When you go to reservation and then you try to create a reservation, it asks you for reservation ID, right? So now this reservation ID or anything like this, because the reservation ID has to be unique, okay, and there is no such name that you can give to it. All right, so it has to be a unique number, and it's difficult for me to actually go and put some number here. You do not know, what was the last reservation made. So in this kind of a situation, we use a functionality which is called an auto number. Auto number is also a field type. Okay. Using the auto number, what you will do is you will just convert this field into an auto number. In that, what happens is the number is automatically populated. Okay, the number will be automatically generated. Okay, you can define the format
Is that unique for the app or is it unique for that user?
for that object.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the first record which gets created will have, let's say, 001, the second one will have 002, 003, that is, all right. So Salesforce will automatically take care of creating a unique ID for every record. Okay, so that can be your reservation ID, let's say. You can define the format. So how do you do that? You can create an auto number field. Um, so you just need to go to setup, create objects. So like for customer, let's say I want to create it for customer. I already have customer name, email, phone. I want to create a field called customer ID. So I can just go to the new and say auto number. So auto number is the field, a system generated sequence number that uses a display format you define. So you have the option of defining the display format, and it will be a system generated number. That means it will pick up the number automatically, starting from whatever start number you give. So let's say I want to have a customer ID. So put a field label, customer ID. Now you have to put the display format. Okay. So in the display format, there are two things, for an auto number. One is the static part, and one is the dynamic part. What is static part? Static part is whatever is going to be fixed. Okay. Let's say I want to have my customer ID like this or like this. Okay. So this is the dynamic part and this is the static part. Correct? This is going to be fixed for all the IDs. This part, the 001 will keep on changing. So what you can do is you can just define this part you have to keep outside the curly brackets and this dynamic part you have to put inside the curly bracket. That's it. So you should do that's it. And the format, because you're not defining any number here, the format needs to be given in 000. That's it. If you want 4 digit, make 4 zeros. If you want 5 digit, make 5 zeros. Whatever. You can put 2 or 3 digits. Okay. That's it. Start number, from which number you want to start? I want to start from 1. All right. Do you want to generate auto number for existing records? So the records which are already there, do you want to generate auto number for them also? Yes. Click on next. Save. Okay. Now you can go to customers and check for the customer ID. See, it's already generated the customer ID 001. Create one more customer. All right. Now have a look into this. For Shiva, customer ID 002. For Arvind, it's 003. Got it? So this is how it works. So that's about the auto number. Here, so we have talked about putting the field dependencies and the auto numbers on this. Now, more or less, we can actually control a lot of functionalities using these options, right? The field types and all. Okay. Uh, Now there is another type of relationship. The other day we talked about lookup relationship, right? There's one more type of relationship field which is called master detail relationship, but this is a special type of relationship. Okay, so master detail relationship is a special type of relationship. I would initially now suggest you to just work with the lookup relationship for a maybe for a few more work on it, work with it a few more times, and then get into the concept of master detail relationship. It's the same as the lookup relationship. The connection happens exactly the same way, just that some master detail relationship has a few additional features. Okay, and it's a special type of relationship. So let's not get into that right now. We will talk about this a little later. Before that, I want you to be okay with the lookup relationship, the relationship concept itself. Okay, so that's there. Mm, Formula we will do a little later. Formula thing also we are going to do a little later. What else do you think we can actually do on this app in terms of do you want to add a few fields or something onto this? Any small thing which needs to be done here?
Jeet,
Hmm.
if you can just go into the other app that I just made
Mm-hmm.
and that question, like how we did the dependency, field dependency. So I want to see how I could go back and correct that part. Um,
Which one?
yes, bookings. Yeah, pick that reservation.
Mhm.
right? And then so the question where I have, see the nightly price, right? That's a part of a formula, which is your total price, I guess.
Hmm.
And but how would the system know what the price actually is? Can we auto-populate that field from what it was in room?
Yes, we can.
Meaning what I'm saying is basically if I do a lookup, right? How do I point it to a specific field of a record?
Okay, that's a good question. So there are two parts to this question. Can we populate? Yes, we can populate, but for that we will use formula. So we will talk about formulas a little later because formula is
Okay,
again going to be a complete topic where you
sure.
need to spend time. So let's not get into the formula now. Second part of that is that how do I point to a specific field using lookup? Okay, let's understand this. Let's just give me a minute. Let's try to understand how the database is actually working in the backend.
Sure.
Okay. Let's say I have a table here which is called room. Okay. So the room will have an ID, name or number, room number, price, type, and let's say accessibility.
And then I think we had a floor also built into that, right?
Maybe the floor. Okay.
Yep.
Something. All right. So let's say this is what we have. Hmm? Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this can be A101, B201, C301, D401, E501. These are the room numbers. Alright. Price can be, let's say, 10, 20, 10, 10, 20. Type can be B, A, B, C. And the floors can also be whatever. That's how the data is stored in the rooms table. Okay.
Right.
Out of all these, which one is the unique field?
The ID.
Okay, so there has to be one unique field, okay, in every object. That's what we understand. Salesforce by default has a field called ID. Every object has an ID field also. Let's understand that part now. Though it's not displayed, but every object has an ID field, and every record you create gets an ID. So if you just go to a booking record that you have created,
Mm-hmm.
you will see that in the URL after salesforce.com there is an ID. So this is the unique ID for this record. Now this is a very important concept that you need to understand. So Salesforce by default populates an ID. There is an ID field for every object which is by default created. You don't have to create that. It's already there, and Salesforce creates that for every object. Okay,
And that's for the record, right?
that's for the record.
That ID. Okay.
So every record gets an ID, right? So whether you create an ID or not for the guest or room or the booking or whatever object you are creating, Salesforce will definitely maintain an ID. Why does it need to do that? Because it needs to differentiate between the data that you have created. So
Right.
if you do not know understand the if you do not understand the database concepts, and if you have not created the ID, Salesforce still needs to differentiate between four different records that you have created in an object, right? So for that reason,
Sure.
they from their side they maintain this ID thing, okay? And it's not displayed here. You do not get to see the ID field here. Okay, you can display it here using some a bit of coding and all, but usually it's not shown here because it's not relevant to what you are actually doing. It's relevant to what Salesforce is doing. So this is displayed here. So whichever record you open, the ID is passed here. And that's database concept actually. In case you have database and you have records and you want to refer to a certain record at any given point of time, you need to have an ID. Okay, so that's already there. Okay, so Salesforce
Is
has
the
a
ID
standard. Yeah.
uh, is the ID created only for a record, or is it created for object also?
See, ID is a field on the object and it will be generated for every record.
Okay.
So ID is a field, like name is a field,
Okay.
room type is a field. The same way ID is also a field on the object. Okay,
Okay.
and every object, every record will have an ID for it.
Okay.
Got it? Now, by default, Salesforce refers to that ID field as a unique identifier. Even if you create one more ID field from your side, Salesforce is going to depend on the ID field that it has created, or the Salesforce has. Okay, and that field is called ID. This is what it is called. Okay. Now, come back to the second part. So we have understood the structure of the room object. Now let's come to the reservation part. In the reservation, I will have a reservation ID, let's say, and then I will have, let's say, check-in date and checkout date. Sorry, check-in date, checkout date, and room, for which room the reservation has been made, right? Now, here, this is just a field, right? This is also a field, right? It only has a cell. But this is a lookup field, which means, sometimes in database concept, we call it a foreign key. Okay, so in this, I need to put a value so that it can understand that it's related to which record from the room. So here, which field's value from room should go? I want
The
to
number.
reference the room here. Which field from room should ideally go?
The number, right?
The number
Yeah.
or
The ID.
let me put it this way, this is unique, this is not unique. Let's say I have 2A101. It's not unique.
Got it.
Got it? So if you populate A101 here, then will it not get confused that which record to relate to?
It will. Yeah.
Fine. So this lookup field or a relationship field always need to refer back to the ID.
Okay.
Okay. So if I actually create a lookup field and populate the price here, then life becomes even more difficult for it. Right?
Sure.
So it does not understand what to do now. Which
Yep.
one is it actually getting connected to? But ID is unique. One record can have one ID. Like if I say ID 3, now there is only one record with ID as 3. Now it's very clear on, okay, fine, this is the record which I'm connected to.
Yep.
Got it? So it's more like, just try and understand this. Your in your office, when you're working, when you join a company, your iCard may display your name, your manager will call you with your name, but when the finance guy needs to process the payrolls, he will definitely do it with the employee ID, because two
Yep.
people can have the same name and their salaries can be different, so he does not want to get into that trouble, right? So identifier is like that. All right. Now, connection between two objects, that or the lookup field, always gets connected to the ID. However, it displays the name in the front. You must have seen that it shows the name in the front, or the name and number in the front side, but it's basically connected to the ID. Okay, so we cannot connect it, we cannot create a lookup relationship with any other field. It only gets connected through the ID, and the name is displayed, and that's the standard setting that's there. Now, once I have created this thing, once this relationship has been set, next what I can do is I can just go to the price or whatever nightly charge. Now you can go here and you can use a formula to reference to this particular record and fetch the price from there. But that has to be a formula field. That cannot be a lookup field.
Question, Jeet.
Hmm.
So when you mentioned the record ID under the room, right? So what if the display has to show as a A101 or whatever the case might be?
Okay, lookup relationship will always get connected through the ID, Salesforce ID field, and it will always display the name field. When you create a custom object, every object has a name field also, right? ID field every object has, and name field every object has. So if
Sure,
you
yes, that's right.
if you see this in your any other object, you must have seen that there is a default name field.
Right, I saw that, yes.
Yes. So it will always display the name there, and it will be connected through the ID. Okay,
Got it.
and that's something that we cannot actually change. Okay, now, but it's though it's displaying the name here, it actually is not basically getting connected to the name. It's connected to the ID only.
Right. Now,
Okay,
is the name also auto-populated, or is it something that we have to populate, or we can populate, I should
name
say?
is auto-populated. Name is auto-populated means auto-generated name.
Yes.
No, no, name is what you can give. Name is what
Okay.
you can give, but it's there and it's a mandatory field. You
Got it.
always have to make sure that you are giving the name. Alright, so your lookup field in the front end will display the name, and like if you go to a certain booking, booking, so it will show Arya Kalluri, okay, which is
Right.
a record in the guests. Okay,
Yep.
it's actually connecting through the ID of that record. Okay, so it will show the customer name. See here, Arya Kalluri is the name now.
Sure.
So it displays the name in the front, and it is actually connected to the ID of the record. So
Got it.
that's the concept here.
Cheap question.
Mhm.
Uh, in the lookup pop-up, uh, can we have other field in place of name?
There, in this pop-up,
Like you said that in the front end it always shows name instead of ID.
mhm.
So I do not. Could you demonstrate with an example? Like
See,
Jeet, Jeet, in this specific record, isn't it the reservation name that you're referring to?
this is the customer. What is the
yep,
customer name?
okay,
Arya Kalluri, right?
yep, yep,
This is a reservation. Here, this name is a lookup field. Okay, so
okay,
it's showing the name of the customer here. Got it?
okay, okay,
Connection is with what? Connection is with ID, right?
yeah,
Connection is with ID, but it is
mm-hmm.
showing the name of that record. ID of that record is this. This is the ID of the record. Okay, so this is the ID of the record, and this is the name of the record. Okay, now what happens here is you are basically connected to this, but in the front end it displays this, right? It's like, if someone has created a link, and it says wikipedia.com, let's say, and or Wikipedia or something, but it actually connects to, let's say, www.wikipedia.com. You have seen these kind of links, right, in real life.
Correct.
So it shows something, and when you click, it does not have to go to that thing. Okay, so that's how it is. That's how this link is created. The link actually, the display is the name, but it's actually connected to the ID of the record. Got the logic? And it will
Yes.
always be the name in the front end, and it will always be connected to the ID. That's how it has been built. Clear?
Yep.
Arvind, you had some question?
Yeah.
No, so in this case, in this reservation, right,
Hmm.
as you just mentioned that it is linked to the ID, but the name is Araya Kaluri. So when you look at the booking detail where it says reservation name,
Hmm.
is this the name that was created by
Reservation name you
default?
can change and you can make it anything.
Okay,
Doesn't matter.
got it.
This will still continue to be the customer name. Okay. So that's how it is. All right. So that's about the lookup relationship, how it works. All right. And it will be more clear, the concepts. That's the reason why I did not want you to get into the master detail relationship right now. These concepts will, keep on becoming more clear as in you keep on creating more lookups and all. We'll start understanding this a little better. All right.